Hello everybody, it is Monday the 16th of May. I want to talk about what I said yesterday, the difference between deriving knowledge being brought to you on either living or dead waters. This is the world created through dead waters, and the outcome is that we are dead in the water or very close to it. Now, people are looking and they are on the right path and they're not seeing. They're saying it and they're looking at it and they're not seeing it. And Greg Braden is at the moment one of the best examples, because he keeps saying over and over again, if we look from the level of knowledge that we are at now and we take this knowledge back to look at our most cherished traditions, at the ancient texts, then so we take the knowledge of now and we take it back to the past and we connect the two, and then an understanding should come about what it is we are and what it is we're in. And he's actually doing it. He's doing exactly that. And he's looking at the cherished traditions, and he does not understand what he is looking at and how it has created this outcome. It is ask and you shall be given, believe and be surrounded by your answer. We are living in the answer. We are surrounded by it. This world is the answer. It's the outcome of a way. And the cherished traditions of the past were the way. So, and what is it we're actually looking at when we look at these wonderful cherished traditions and knowledge that they had? Now, I want to read again a couple of things out of this book, that I'm reading, The God Code. It's Greg Braden. And a quote that I wrote yesterday, but go a little bit further in it to show you what it is they're doing. Yeah? So, it started with a level of detail unparalleled in other creation stories. The Sefer Yetzirah, which is the book of formation, bringing heaven to earth. So, with a level of detail, unparalleled in other creation stories, the Sefer Yetzirah offers precise instructions as to how the 22 letters interact with one another to create the stuff that is our world is made of. When all the combinations of letters are taken into account and arranged graphically in a circle, there are 231 lines that connect the possibilities. The Sefer Yetzirah identifies these lines as 231 gates. Stargates. 231 stargates. That's what they are. Jesus said, I am the gate, I am the way, I am the door. So what are those gates that you create through that knowledge? It is your energetic being, the outcome inside of yourself. The energy through which the Creator creates into this world. Yeah? According to who you are, according to your energetic being. So they are creating these different energetic stages to bring an outcome into this world through themselves. So that is the knowledge they had. Yeah? And they created a model of this knowledge, and they are working that model. Now that is the knowledge of what we can do, and I dare say they've been test driving this for thousands of years now. Yeah, so it probably works. So They are creating the energy through which the question goes out and the answer comes in the gate. Now, the thing is that they have found ways of getting themselves into that state, into that energetic state. And that is through the working of symbolism. They are creating artificial emotions. Emotions not grown out of life, but artificially created for the moment to carry that question or that desire. Those are dead waters. Those are dead waters that are going out to receive answers. And then they create a world according to those answers. An artificially created world. Yeah? Created out of questions and answers that travel on dead waters, artificially created waters. So when we have this thing going around talking about artificial intelligence, it is the top of the pyramid. It is what David Icke describes as the spider in the web. That is artificial intelligence. They are artificial intelligence, knowledge derived by an artificial way, and they are detached from reality, from what this world actually is, because they are not deriving their knowledge through interaction with this world, but in a bubble where they work their models. And is it the thinking that, how we see ourselves in this world? Yeah? They found out what this machine can do. Therefore, we should do it. The idea of we are the gods of this world. We are here, so our will shall be done. And we found ways of how to get the knowledge to do it. And we can, therefore we should. So you go back to your most cherished traditions, and that is what they're doing. That is what they're telling you. And then you go to the level of knowledge that you are now, because you're living in the outcome, and you're seeing this thinking, this knowledge, creating forms all over the place. It's becoming more and more obvious where the powers that be, even in this world now, making their decisions, telling us what to do based on models, based on computer models that predict outcomes. Yeah, and although we are in this world and we're saying, well, I'm seeing something slightly different from what your model is predicting there, the model is right. That is the higher knowledge. And this reality is just nothing. Yeah, that's nothing. So, and that is the way of being oh so scientific, detached from the reality of this world. And although we would say, this is nonsense because we are still grounded in this world, they are saying that's science. And it can only be science if it creates its own world. Yeah? In which their knowledge can work and then become completely scientific. So they are creating a world within a world. And it is a virtual reality built on artificial intelligence. Artificially derived knowledge. Got to them by dead waters. Artificially created waters, following those models, knowing which energetic state they should be in to get a certain answer. That's the top of the pyramid. They are artificial intelligence detached from the reality of this world. And they believe themselves to be gods on a higher knowledge, on a greater knowledge. and the mad gods of this world are about to create a man in their own image. Because apparently, the man created by nature dies in their world. So the man created by nature must be wrong, because theirs is a higher knowledge. And even the Kabbalah Institute that I was in, and that if you see it, it becomes so clear. They are talking about that this is about nature. Yeah? This is all about the Creator, this is about nature. But they're looking at graphs. They have created models and graphs. And they are looking at reality through those models, through those graphs. And not directly at nature, but at the models of nature that they have created. And they believe in their models and symbols above what actually is. Their models and symbols have become their reality. And as I said, it's detached from what actually is. So, and I want to read another thing because, again, we're looking at the wrong way. We're always looking at the wrong way. So let's look at the right way. And this is also out of the book, and that is the last thing I read last night, and it really hit me. So it says here, in Hebrew, the word for man, Adam, derives from the root word Adamah. Interestingly, Adamah is also the Hebrew word for land or ground, indicating a much more direct and personal relationship between Adam and our world. In deriving the word Adam from Adamah, we are actually shown that the first human was formed as the element of the earth. A very literal translation would state that Adam is the person or human being of the ground. Of the ground, grounded in this world, grounded in the knowledge of himself in this world. And as I said, knowledge is not bad, good or bad in itself. It is the way you use it. So we have the knowledge of that we derive answers through an energetic state. We are the Stargate. We are that through which the knowledge of the heavens comes into this earth. They got the knowledge that there are certain emotions that create gates. And as I said, they create those emotions artificially. But if we are grounded in this world and we are interacting with life, so there is life giving to life, receiving of life, and life, through the interaction, it creates an emotion in you, and it creates a gate derived out of life, not artificially created, but in life. And we are in a world of symbolism. The light has created forms, living symbols, like trees, like animals, living symbols, symbols that are not dead and that give a living energy to you, that you interact with. Now, of course, this way is not, for the most part, not scientific the way we work it now. Because although we get random answers like epiphanies, that knowledge suddenly comes to us, we're usually not aware where it actually came from. So that's what we do. We stand here and say, where did that come from? We went through that process, but we were probably on autopilot, not being aware of what it is we're doing. And at some point we connected. We probably had a question, or we were mulling over something that was not in awareness, and we connected to something. Our eyes saw something, and we connected to something that brought us the answer, and we have no idea what it is we were doing before we got the answer. So that's why we don't know where it came from. We're not aware. But then at the moment, would it be better to get the odd random answer that is based on truth, based in this world, grown out of life, brought to you on living waters? Would it be better to have the odd random answer based on truth, rather than have this great construct built artificially? I'd say at the moment we're probably better off with the odd random answer, brought to us on living waters, grounded in this truth. Can we, and again, can we take this knowledge of how to ask, how we receive, how that we create an energetic foundation, and find out how this energetic foundation is created through our interaction with nature? Become more aware which connections bring what answers, not in an artificial model, but in nature. It will become a lot more complicated, but the knowledge will be a lot greater. Now, that's is the last thing I want to say, and this is, it really derives out of the question, what is our purpose here? I mean, this is the answer to what are we, what can we do, what is this body, what does this machine do, how do we interact with what is around us. But what is the purpose? And that's the big question. What is the purpose of, and out of that should grow intentions, the way by which we use this knowledge. And I was thinking about, what people say, how we know the Creator when we die. And that is the image of this light and the feeling of love. Yeah, so there is a visual again and a feeling. So we know ourselves we feel ourselves to be surrounded by love, or maybe even unconditional love. I think that is still a question. But do we know it? We know we're in it, we know it's around us, but do we know what we're actually in? And I think that's the question, do we know what we are in? So, and to me, it is like, if you put a bright white light through a prism, the light will go through and split itself into its components, and you can see that the white light is actually made out of a lot of different colors. And I think that is exactly what this world is. This is where the light has split itself into its components, and it has created different forms according to its components. It's all love. But it shows the different meanings of love, the different workings of love. Yeah? We can see that it's not just giving, but sometimes it's withholding something from you that is not good for you. And again, through the connections to living symbols, receiving of living waters, we will get a knowledge of what love actually is in its different components. So this is the Creator bite size, so to speak. And if that were our purpose, this is the place where the Creator reveals himself. And we have not the knowledge of ourselves and what can we do with that, but the knowledge of this machine and how can we find out what love actually is. If that is our question, and if we build a world that would aid the finding of that question, we would live in a completely different world. But I said from the beginning, know that you have already received the answer. I said, again, imagine you are in a place where you have already received the answer. Yeah? You are in that place. You have already received the answer. You're living in it. How we got to this answer, look back at our most cherished traditions, bring the knowledge, the level of knowledge we have now, and take it back to the most cherished traditions and see what they were actually doing, how they derived by that knowledge, and see that it was an artificial way, a way that used constructs and models, and that found a way of artificially creating different energetic states through the use of symbolism. So they sent out artificially created waters, artificially created emotions, and they received answers according to this. What is in the top of the pyramid is now artificial intelligence that puts the knowledge that arrived out of their knowledge higher than actually life itself. That is why we are living in a virtual reality. And then take this knowledge and connect to the living symbols, to the knowledge of the Creator that is all around you. And do it consciously, and try to find a way that we get answers about what His love actually is, what this white light is, what is love and how does it work, so that we can become that light. We become it, grown out of the knowledge of it. And that's a new purpose. We have knowledge of what this machine is, we should put it to a new purpose, work it in a different way, connecting through living waters. And then hopefully that would create a completely different world. Anyway, I leave it at that for today, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.